Hi, I'm Alex Williams, founder of the New Stack, here at the Redis conference in San Francisco. Today I'm with Bill Anderson. Bill is the mad scientist at Rackspace. He is here today to show us Commissar, a use case-based Redis performance tool. Bill, great to have you here today. Tell us a little bit about Commissar, and maybe then you can give us a little demo of what it's all about.
Yes, so Commissar is a software project and an initiative to rally the Redis community around doing use case scenario testing rather than just how fast is Redis possible. So let me get to it. It's an early stage, and it is a command line based app. So here we have just a quick run. And there's a lot of output here. The primary thing that we're after, being a use case based tool, is this entry here, which is games per second. So this particular run came in at almost 11,500 games per second. And this is the key metric if you're running a leaderboard that you're looking for. You don't care how many commands your database runs. You want to know how many games per second your software can handle, how much your hardware can handle. So that's the primary goal of this tool, is to give you that kind of information. There's some additional details here, around how consistent it is. We can see the breakouts, 95th percentile, 99th percentile, see how that works for you. Get you a better idea of how it works in the longer term if you run this longer. The really interesting bits, though, I find are at the bottom, where we see that Commissar is able to break out the time that Redis itself took to process these games, the results of these games, as well as how long the network and the client side took. And this is really critical in determining whether you need to focus on your app more or whether you need to focus on a better network.
So this really eliminates, the benchmarking. I don't know what I call it, but it helps kind of flatten the benchmark, approach.
Yes, rather than playing the game that supercars do, I can go over 205 miles an hour, I can do 202 miles an hour. What you really care about is how it works for you on a day-to-day basis, and that's what this direction will take you. Okay,
great. What else would you like to show us?
Well, a little sub-project for Commissar. I mentioned there's that network piece. So you're able to look at your network piece by a little tool I wrote inside of it called Latency. Latency, all it does is ping. It's just a real simple network. But the purpose of it is to demonstrate the effects of bringing on more worker clients.
Okay.
So a common thing that happens is you have your workers, for some reason your workers start to fall behind, or you get a big influx, so you think, well, I'm going to throw more resources at this problem. So latency, just running it by itself, runs a single client and tests it. This is very similar to the Redis CLI latency tests. However, you can give it a parameter that says, in this case, I want you to run 10 clients. And then you can look at the performance change. You can even see a difference with just between this 1 versus 10. We can see that the network variability has greatly increased. In this case, a factor of approximately 4. So it allows you to actually test and see what the effects of bringing on more clients is.
Okay. So that helps really the customer who is working in a distributed environment or is scaling out their application.
Absolutely.
Okay. So are there new additions that you plan for Commissar?
Yes, there's many. So as I mentioned, it's a bit of an initiative instead of just a software project. Some of the main things we want to do is to have multiple use cases. So this is one implementation of a leaderboard. We want to have more than one implementation of leaderboard. We want to have queue use cases, key value use cases, all the main things that people use Redis for to help find the best implementation that meets your specific needs, and do this across multiple languages. And then that'll allow you, if you also have the ability to choose between which language you want to write something in, this will help you at least inform that decision.
Okay, great. Well, Bill, thank you very much for taking some time to talk with us. Before we go, I'd like to ask you how people may participate in the Commissar project.
Excellent. So the project resides on GitHub, and let me bring up here for you to see. So on GitHub, we have some basic documentation, and you can fork the repo, write use case scenarios, put those in there so that we can review them and start implementing tests for those, as well as write the tests in the language of your choice.
Well, great. Well, Bill, thank you very much for taking some time, and look forward to watching the progress of Commissar.
Thank you.